The Making of a Legend. It was a dark and dreary March morning. There was snow on the forecast, and I could feel it in the air as I walked into school late, holding the large iced coffee I had bought earlier that morning. I made it to first block on time, but I had missed homework. As I sat down in Latin that day, I saw my teacher look more excited than usual. He passed out to the class a single piece of paper each. I flipped it over and read, Opus de Armis Romanis, and my day immediately brightened.
For those of you who don't take Latin, Opus de Armis Romanis directly translates to the work of Roman weapons, but it was implied as the usefulness of Roman weapons for complicated reasons we don't need to get into.
I had seen this project done years prior, so I knew what we had to do without translating the entire document. I really enjoyed seeing the last year's class build Roman military items, and so me and my friends already thought of what we wanted to build. I immediately turned and looked to Brock and Theo as we'd been unofficially planning this project for about a month. We shared an understood nod and I raised my hand. Mr. P, can we work in groups? He responded immediately, asking me to repeat the question in Latin, which took a while and did nothing but fuel my anticipation for his answer. After a lot of struggling to get my nominatives and accusatives lining up with my first-person plural verb, I eventually spat out, Magister P, possum ne facere cum multo discipulo? He responded with the best answer I could have wished for. Long, convoluted Latin sentences, telling me how I could build with another group. But everyone in the group had to have a separate final project. But that didn't matter. All I knew was that me, Brock, and Theo could build a chariot. Brock immediately started drawing up plans to build it with 3/4-inch plywood and 2x4s, and I knew that would be heavy, but Brock wouldn't listen. We decided to use a threaded rod for the wheels, and we measured it so it would fit through the doors in the school. And we got our money together. A few days later, Brock and I got to go to heaven on earth, but known to most people as Home Depot. We got an 8x4 piece of plywood and ripped it to get 4 2x4 pieces of plywood. We then bought a 16-foot 2x4, and then our building began. Me and Brock got the majority of it done, and then saved the finishing touches for the next day. We all met up on a Wednesday night, 2 days before the project was due, and then we started to do the final assembly. After the building was done, we had to add our special touches. First, our red spray paint. Second, we had our painted eagle, Giuseppe, and our symbol for the war god. But finally, there was the finishing touch. Its painted title, The Chariot, a legend. But that's not where the story ends. We made it to school very early that next day, and easily moved our chariot to Band Hall as we paraded it around to show it to everyone. We carried it down 2 sets of stairs to the entrance to the Latin classroom, but then everything went south. It didn't fit through the door. So, with a lot of hard work, we pushed it through the door, but then the worst thing happened. I spilled my coffee. A large iced coffee with cream, sugar, and mocha swirl spilled all over Mr. P's floor. But then, the bell rang. So I spent the next 7 minutes cleaning and then ran to homeroom. But we walked into Latin, and the spray paint hadn't dried, and the entire room smelled like it. But it was a good presentation. Each of us presented, getting tons of laughs, and having all the historical data we needed. After that story, you may be asking yourself, whatever happened to the chariot? And the answer has been lost to the ages. But I can tell you for a fact, it is definitely not hidden in Brock's basement without the knowledge of his parents. But who knows, maybe one day, the legend will return.